So last week, my one tip about how to live out your dreams was to take small daily steps of obedience. And this week I have one additional tip about living out those dreams, and that is to persevere. I have a friend that in church this Sunday was telling me about how she's a homeschooling mom of 4. She is at home with those little children all the time, and she was really looking forward to a break. So she scheduled a time to go to a women's event, and her husband had put aside time where he could come and do daycare. She was super excited about getting out of the house. And about 10 minutes before she was supposed to leave, she felt God impressing on her heart not to go. She felt like God was saying no. And so she couldn't really explain it, but she told her husband, I feel like I'm not supposed to go. He was a confused husband because he had put the time aside, but within 15 minutes she had started developing flu symptoms and went to bed. So it was a day that it was a blessing to have childcare because she got to go to bed, and God told her no, that she needed to stay home so that she could get the rest that she needed. I had a similar situation several years ago. I had a conference that a door opened to go, and I was so excited. It was a huge opportunity to go and be with some people that I really admired and wanted to learn from. But in the midst of praying about all that, I heard God say no. And I really couldn't understand it. I came up with some possible reasons that he could be saying no. But as it turned out, the week of that conference, my mother's brother died, and she was the one that I was counting on to be with my children to go to the conference. So God knew all along the number of my uncle's days, and he knew that I wouldn't have child care in the end to go to that conference. And so as my loving father, he told me no, even though that wasn't the answer that I wanted to hear. But what I want to say today is sometimes God does say no, but if it's a dream that God has put on your heart, if you hear a no, it, first of all, has a reason from your loving Father. And secondly, it may just be not yet. It could be that you need to persevere in that place of just small daily obedience for longer than you'd like to. I know I kind of lived that out. And it made me think of the scripture in James 1 where he says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. And perseverance must finish its work so that you must be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Like I said last week, I spent 6 years in a job that I loved on one hand because I had a boss that was a believer and she was wonderful to work for, and there were aspects of the job that I loved, but I really couldn't understand why for 6 years I was doing a job that didn't seem to be a career path, or it didn't seem to be taking me where I thought that I was going. But in the end, that job prepared me so well for Next Step Speaker Services. I learned a little bit of the business aspect of the career world, which I had never done before. I'd been an educator and learned how to do contracts. I learned how to do presentations and all those things. So I want to just to encourage you today that if you've been getting no's in the form either of God's voice or closed doors, that doesn't mean no forever necessarily. Sometimes it just means not yet. So today, my second tip about walking out your dreams is to persevere. If you really believe that this is what God's spoken to you, hang in there. Learn what you need to learn every step of the way, but don't give up.